Okay, Hare Krishna. I think we're live. Yes, we're live. Okay. So, would like to welcome all our viewers online on Facebook and on YouTube to our Sunday night Zoom meeting. Welcome all our viewers online. It's 9/11/2022, and let's see, what we're going to do today is maybe read this last paragraph from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 1972 edition, and then we'll get going here. Maybe I'll read, and then Robert Prabhu, can you also read this last paragraph? Will all three of us will read, and then maybe have a little discussion on it. Okay, people in general, especially in this age of Kali, are enamored by the external energy of Krishna, and they wrongfully think that by advancement of material comforts, every man will be happy. They have no knowledge that the material or external nature is very strong, for everyone is strongly bound by the stringent laws of material nature. A living entity is happily the part and parcel of the Lord, and thus his natural function is to render immediate service to the Lord. By the spell of illusion, one tries to be happy by serving his personal sense gratification in different forms, which will make him happy.
Will never make him happy.
Oh, which will never make him happy. Instead of satisfying his own personal material senses, what does it say? Instead of satisfying his own personal material senses, he has to satisfy the senses of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. The Lord wants this, and he demands it. One has to understand the central point of the Bhagavad Gita. Our Krishna consciousness movement is teaching the whole world this central point. And because we're not polluting the theme of Bhagavad Gita as it is, anyone seriously interested in deriving benefit by studying the Bhagavad Gita must take help from the Krishna consciousness movement for the practical understanding of Bhagavad Gita under the direct guidance of the Lord. We hope, therefore, that people will derive the greatest benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita as it is, as we have presented it here. And if even one man becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we shall consider our attempt a success. Signed, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, May 12, 1971, Sydney, Australia. And this last paragraph is pretty revealing, huh? Prabhupada says, we hope, therefore, that people will derive the greatest benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita as it is, as we have presented it here. And if even one man becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we shall consider our attempt a success.
That means it's not easy to do.
Yeah.
Or it is easy to do, but people do everything else but the easy thing.
Yeah, like Prabhupada here, it's saying in the first paragraph here that, what is it, our nature, a living entity is happily the part and parcel of the Lord, and thus his natural function is to render immediate service to the Lord. By the spell of illusion, one tries to be happy by serving his personal sense gratification in different forms, which will never make him happy. So this teaching that every living entity is part and parcel of Supreme Lord Krishna, and its natural function to render immediate service to the Lord. So how we as devotees, we have some theoretical understanding about this, but how come this is so hard to execute? I mean, we have, I guess, what, bad karma? Or why is it that so
everyone in the material world has bad karma?
Yes, that's granted, yes. We know that. But
So,
but the living entity,
how do we approach Prabhupada's lotus feet? By desire, no?
yes.
And without desire, we cannot.
But everyone desires to be a pure devotee, or everyone is wanting to become a...
Everybody wants the word pure devotee to apply to them the way they are now.
What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate? Everyone wants
Yeah.
Meaning materially conditioned.
Yeah, a materially conditioned soul, such as we see in all these gurus around,
Yeah.
they want to be gurus, but they imagine that they've qualified themselves, but they have not, because they have not approached Krishna himself.
So you're saying that their motive is something else then, basically. They're using
Yeah,
Krishna.
their motive is well, okay. This is why I was hoping we could read that little. Did you find that little thing I posted to you on Paramatma?
Yes, yes.
So after we finish this, could we read that? It will explain and clarify this exact point you brought up. Okay?
I hear some background noise.
Is there? What's happening?
Ramachandra, you're muted.
Oh, 1 second. Narayan Prabhu, please continue the discussion. I've got something come up. Give me about 2-3 minutes. I'll be back.
Okay, but do you understand what we want? Well, can we go back to the screen and discuss some more?
No, because Ramachandra is the host and he is not here, so.
Okay. But you did discover that posting that I had sent to you that you said, wow, about, you found it again on your, it didn't erase because I found it again on your texts.
Well, you see it because you haven't erased it, but I can't see it because I did erase it.
My God, you didn't think we might want to use it for the Zoom call?
I hate to admit it, but I don't remember reading it.
No, you did remember. You did read it and you commented on it very beautifully.
Okay.
You were, it would seem, blown away by it. So now, how are we going to continue? What are we going to continue with? We can't get the screen off, so what can we do?
Why don't you comment on what was just read?
Well, it's easier to comment on it if you can read it point by point. The essential thing is that everyone in the material world is being, everyone's desires in the material world, yours, mine, and everyone else's, is being satisfied by Lord Paramatma. As long as we are identifying with our bodies and we're in material consciousness, we will keep on asking Paramatma to give us more and more ways of satisfying for our material body to become satisfied. But we can do that forever and it will not produce the result that we're ultimately looking for, which is to become pure devotees of the Lord. So the question of Paramatma is the person. Okay, why let me explain. Why does Paramatma exist? Oh, hi, Ramachandra.
I'm back.
Why does
Okay.
Paramatma exist? He exists because we left the spiritual planet of Krishna Loka. He came here as our babysitter, as our facilitator, as our empowerer, so that in the material world where we wanted to be, Krishna's giving us the blessing, if you want to call it that, of the satisfaction of fulfilling our desires in our bodies and attacking other people's bodies, seducing other people's bodies. Everything is based on the body, and Paramatma helps us do each and every one of those things. Right? Now, what happens if we can ask Paramatma? Prabhupada said on the Jaladuta make me dance like a puppet. Well, what he was referring to is Paramatma is the quiet bird, and the jiva is the bird that's hopping up and down. Is described in the Gita, early chapters. And so when the jiva is ready to give up this clown show of jumping around in their bodies to satisfy their senses, then they can ask Paramatma, please, Paramatma, show me how I can become spiritually advanced. And Paramatma will say, have you read Prabhupada's Gita? No, but I saw it. No, I think I have it on my shelf. Do you want to become advanced? Yes. Then read it and then get back to me. Do you see the point? Paramatma can be a dynamic for Maya or for spiritual realization.
Here we go. This is Srila Prabhupada, September 18th, 1965. Prabhupada says, "O Lord, I'm just a puppet in your hand. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance, make me dance. O Lord, make me dance as you like." This is Srila Prabhupada's.
Yeah, so he's giving up his right to ask Paramatma to make him dance. He's saying, if I'm here, then make me dance, meaning you take charge, I will be the object, not the subject, not the commander. I will be the person following your direction. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Jai, yes.
Okay.
Srila Prabhupada says here, this is a 1976 conversation with Professor O'Connell, Toronto, June 18th, 1976. Prabhupada says,
Okay.
no, I was not very much hopeful. That I wrote one poetry, that Krishna, why you have brought me in this country? What can I do? How I shall convince them? How they will understand the philosophy? So, but because you have brought me here, must be there is some purpose. So all right, you make me dance as you like. That poetry I wrote in Boston Commonwealth Pier on the sea. I came by the ship. So I wrote that poetry that I do not know what for. I have come here. Why Krishna has brought me here. As soon as I shall say that there is no illicit sex, no meat eating, no drinking, and no gambling, they'll say, you go back home, don't talk. I knew this. Still I attempted, but these boys kindly accepted. I never made any compromise. I said, these are the first conditions to be Krishna conscious. No illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, and no gambling. Are you agreed? Then they said yes. Then come. If I would have made compromise, yes, whatever you like, you can do. No, I never did. Ask them, I never did. Some of them left. That it is too difficult. The preliminary necessities of life are denied. Okay, so there we go. Prabhupada explaining, make me dance.
Yeah.
The philosophy of Krishna consciousness. A
Yes.
foundation, at least. Well,
Okay, now, can we take it to the next level? If Paramatma is in our heart, in the material world, whichever body we take, 8,400,000 species, correct? Now, in the heart of every of the 8,400,000 species, there's the jiva, correct? And who? Who else?
Super Soul Paramatma.
Yes. What does the Paramatma do in the heart of the germ, in the heart of the cow, in the heart of the dog? What does he do?
He fulfills desire.
Yes, he listens to the desire of the jiva who thinks he's a dog. And so he shows him how he can become adopted and he wag his tail and get dog food. Right?
Yeah. Right.
That's all because of Paramatma. Everyone thinks they're doing it themselves. Whenever you see people doing things, they think they're doing them themselves. But if you get down to it, they're not.
It's happening so perfectly that the living entity is so convinced that, oh, I'm the doer of whatever I'm doing.
He thinks he's a doer because every time he has a desire, he asks for that desire to be fulfilled, and it is fulfilled by whom?
Paramatma.
Can you say that louder?
Paramatma.
You get it, Ramachandra Prabhu.
Yep.
Whatever desire a person has, material or spiritual, it's being fulfilled by Paramatma. All right?
So with that logic, you can blame everything on God.
You can blame everything on God.
Yeah.
Well, did God ask us to leave Krishna Loka?
Well,
We wanted to leave.
we wanted to leave. So if we wanted to leave, why didn't God stop it?
Why didn't he stop us?
Yeah. Like,
Because we have free will.
hmm.
Krishna has supreme will, supreme free will. We're part of infinitesimal parts and parcel of he who has the source of free will. And if we think that we would be created some dumb creature that has no free will,
That's a very good point. That defeats the whole argument that why, if God said, or if it was our desire to come here, and Krishna made everything possible, why didn't he stop it? Well, you're saying that because the living entity always has free will, Krishna does not interfere with it. He facilitates that free will by creating this material world for the living entity to come here, and then, taking the Paramatma role in the heart of every living entity and basically guiding them through whatever desires they have.
fulfilling their desires.
Yeah, fulfilling their desires, yes. And guiding them also to wherever they want to go, or fulfilling their
What does
desires.
that mean?
If you want to be, a pig in your next life, you'll be guided to eat all kinds of obnoxious stuff, and then you become one of them.
Yeah. So, but
So that logic basically.
directing, can you think of yourself and your friends, say, going out to dinner? Think of the entire process. Get in your car, have a big discussion where to go to eat. Then you go someplace, you buy a vegetarian pizza, or you buy noodles from a Thai vegetarian restaurant. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
When you do those things, who is giving the direction?
You have the desire, and Krishna fulfills it.
Right. So I say, I want pizza, and Krishna says, pizza's over there. This is going on with everybody at all times since time immemorial.
This is very simply put, but it's very. Why is it so hard to understand? Because we're thinking that we're doing it, or why?
Of course, we think we're doing it. We think our desires are from us. Are you spirit soul? Yes. But where does it go from there? Yes, I'm spirit soul. Okay. Are you surrendered to Krishna? Oh, no, I'm not that advanced, but I do bring things to the temple. That's all guided by Paramatma. You want to bring a flower to the temple. All right. He helps you find one and bring it. But that's not the same thing as surrendering to Krishna. It's a nice start for sadhana bhakti.
What is surrendering to Krishna?
Huh?
What is surrendering to Krishna?
Surrendering to Krishna is simply realizing that you are eternally part and parcel of Krishna. So, everybody wants to surrender to Krishna like bowing down before the Virgin Mary or something like that. That's not the idea. If you surrendering to Krishna from our point of view, means become his agent, become his mouthpiece. Let me dance like a puppet. Then he is the puppeteer, and he manipulates your arms, your legs, your mouth, so that people looking at you think, oh, that's Ramachandra, or that's Robert, or that's Bhaktivedanta, His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami. They don't understand what is going on. They don't understand what is Prabhupada's actual gift. No one's even wanted it yet. Where's all these problems coming from? It is the compendium of people not wanting Prabhupada's gift, which is through his personal sound vibration, as you heard on the record, on his personal sound vibration, in his personal sound vibration, Krishna is there, hearing, chanting, whatever, but he's there in Prabhupada's chanting. When Prabhupada chants, Krishna is there. Oh, I want to find Krishna. No, you don't. You wanted to find Krishna, you'd surrender to Prabhupada's sound vibration. You'd listen to his record until you go mad. But I don't know, I can't do that all the time. Why not? I have an urge inside to do something else, you know, and who is empowering that urge? I don't know, me, I guess. No, you're not empowering the urge. You're asking Paramatma to let you off the hook so you can follow your urge. So how do you surrender to Krishna is simpler than that. It's the simplest thing in the world, but you can't do it by yourself. I've talked several times on the subject of the Madhya Madhukari, where you're guided by Vishnu, meaning Paramatma. But that's, you know, it's easy just to let one's mind gloss over that. Because, oh yeah, Paramatma, okay. No, that's not the point. The point is to get into the core understanding that Paramatma satisfies your desires. Well, wouldn't you say the next question is, what are your desires? You're a devotee, you're a sannyasi, you're a guru. What are your desires? Oh, I just want to make things better for people. Oh, I just want to collect some money. I just want to do you think that has anything to do with Krishna?
None.
No.
Only that you're a jiva and you're part and parcel of Krishna. So, going further, supposing that a person, a jiva, were to come to the point of asking Paramatma, do not fulfill any of my material desires at all, none of them, not even finding my toothbrush, none of them. Don't fulfill any of my desires. And that's what I'm instructing. I'm always desiring and you're always facilitating or providing. Let's say I'm not going to have any more material desires. You can starve me to death. I only ask that whatever you give me is the necessity that I require, not the object of my desire. Does that make sense?
Easier said than done, buddy. No, I'm just kidding.
Who said that? The boss?
I'm not the boss. I'm just a crazy madman.
Well, yeah. So that was really the message of Gorkashore Das Babaji. And that's why people couldn't relate to him at all. But anyway,
that is Lord Chaitanya. I said that is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prayer. Is that either you trample me or you whatever, embrace me
or trample me and you whatever. Yes,
I'm still your some kind of what is it? You know, is it
Kami or Chaitanya, it's
eternal servant or eternal something?
yeah,
I forget.
yeah. Well, that's the basic idea. Lord Chaitanya was expressing, do not allow me to desire anything.
Yeah, wow. That's really something, huh?
Well, if you want to go back to Godhead, that's the beginning.
I guess I gotta give up my idea of trying to be a guru now.
You want to be a guru, go right ahead.
No,
Paramatma
I'm
will
just kidding.
guide you to accepting disciples and getting money, and when you die, going to hell. I mean, what do you think these gurus are going to do? Of course, they're benefiting people with chanting the holy name. We grant them that. But that's not enough to give them the right to initiate.
Yes.
So this has to be the beginning of the point. Did you find that thing that I texted to you by any chance?
Yes, I have that. We can read that. 1 second here. Let me load
Yeah,
it
if you
up.
want, it's a continuation of the conversation. Do you see how tough the conversation is getting?
Why is it getting tough?
No
Because
desire. Only
I mean-
one desire. I only want to hear Shravanam. Give me the power of Shravanam without the distraction of all of the things that I ask for usually. Stop it. Put Paramatma in handcuffs if you must, but do not accept any benefits. If you now you might say that's terrible, won't you die? No, well, we're never going to die. But the thing is that what's the outcome? The outcome is I'm sorry, that we're never going to, that the outcome is that Paramatma can then be limited by you. He's here to satisfy your desire. What if you reduce your desire to one desire? I want to hear the pure devotee of the Lord. I want to hear Krishna as he is being manifested through the lips of the pure devotee. Instead of putting the recordings in archives, why don't we consider these recordings our life and soul by which we can see and experience Krishna? But we can't do it if we listen to it as an idea in our brain or what we're going to do about it. We can only do it when we surrender through the Paramatma, taking us there and not taking us anywhere else.
Try.
Is that okay? Do you think that would have a good effect on the universe, in the world, if that were done?
If people simply took Srila Prabhupada's message as it is, without adding their, minus or pluses, it would be very simply understood,
Yeah.
and then they would benefit greatly. But why aren't they
Well,
understanding
we
this?
said take his instructions. Don't take his instructions. Shravanam, listen to his sound vibration.
Okay, listen. Okay, correction. Listen to his sound
Shravanam.
vibration.
Hear,
Yes.
hear Krishna manifested to Prabhupada's kirtan. No one has, have they?
No. Yeah.
Including me.
No. Yeah. It's so it makes perfect sense, but it's very seems like very doable, but it does not happen.
Well, it's not happening on its own. I mean, we sit there with our Java beads chanting and we're thinking about all the things we want to do. That's not pure devotion. Right?
Yeah, that's basically what's going on in the
So
world.
if you really want access to Srila Prabhupada's sound vibration, which is Krishna, he's not just chanting, an old man from India chanting. If we think that, we have to ask Paramatma to get rid of that false notion. As we can ask Paramatma, rid me of all false notions. We're never going to renounce Paramatma, but we can renounce what we ask Paramatma. And the main thing is we ask Paramatma for everything.
There's so many faiths and so many belief systems. How is Prabhupada's message going to get through?
Very good question. Yeah.
Well, if people do what I'm suggesting, they'll get through. Okay, so now, do you want to read that? Do you want to read that passage?
1 second. Robert Prabhu, do you have any more realizations or questions you wanted to discuss here on this past discussion we have had for 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead.
I sent you a question
Oh, you did? Okay. 1 second. Let me see.
to your text message.
Okay.
So Robert,
Okay, here.
you tried to reach me, and unfortunately, I didn't. If you want to call me on the phone, call me on my regular landline, on my regular cell phone. Okay.
Okay.
Do you know the number?
Yes, same number. Yeah, it's the same number. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
just don't try to do it through WhatsApp or something, because I might miss it.
Yeah. Okay. So let me put Robert Prabhu's question here, and then we can
Yes.
we can try to. 1 second here, Prabhu's 1 second. Where is it?
Wait till you read it. It will have interesting effect on you and me.
Okay, here we go. Share the screen here. Robert Prabhu.
Did you answer Robert's question?
No, 1 second here. I'm gonna share the question. Hold on. Okay, here we go. This is the question Robert Prabhu is asking here. Okay, Robert Prabhu is asking, what about people who are mute? They can't sing or chant the holy name, right? But they can listen to them. What about the deaf? They can't hear the holy names, but they can chant them. Okay. What about someone who is both deaf and mute? How will such an individual receive the mercy of Lord Chaitanya without associating with the holy name in any way? Does this mean that their rarest human life is wasted spiritually? Well, good questions.
You have to ask yourself, why are they mute and why are they deaf?
Yeah,
that's a karmic situation.
Yeah, that's a karmic
They
situation.
did
Right?
something for that to happen. But
Yeah.
it's not the end of the road. A deaf and mute person can sit in the corner of the temple and someone can spoon feed them sweet
Prasadam.
rice and prasadam, yes.
Yeah. Or they can appreciate what's going on. You know, these things are going on the absolute platform. So even if they're deaf, mute, they appreciate the beauty of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or the beauty of the devotees.
How can they be aware of Lord Chaitanya?
No, I'm saying the deities. The deities are there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Jagannath. So this is actually...
these are all get rays of benediction to that deaf and mute person.
Yes.
He's like in solitary confinement with handcuffs, you know?
Yeah, so in this lifetime, that is the present situation. So it's not
for him.
Yes, for that person, but spiritually, he's still a spirit soul. So them being at the temple eating prasadam, and then seeing
if he is sitting through a kirtan, either deaf or mute, he will feel it.
Yeah, very nice.
If it's Prabhupada kirtan and people are dancing the Swami step, he will feel it and be uplifted.
Right.
If it's a kirtanista making a holy mess of a holy name, then he will benefit a little bit, but not enough to write home about.
Okay, Robert Prabhu, can you specify if your question was answered?
Yeah, it was answered. Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
And Robert, you can call me anytime, pretty much day or night, if you want.
Okay, thank you, Naraya.
One thing I've noticed, this is just a comment, that I was talking to some devotees in India. These Iskcon initiators have basically put a stop to the devotees' advancement in one way that I'd like to say here is that they don't they cannot see that there are other Prabhupada disciples who are present on this earth presently, and they cannot have a connection with them, meaning, a relationship, meaning that, okay, I have this question, Narayan Prabhu, I have this question. So by taking initiation from these appointed and approved gurus, they're cutting themselves out.
To a large degree.
Yeah, to a large degree.
The guru will be able to answer from Prabhupada's writing, but he doesn't have the vibration, and he doesn't have the authority, and he doesn't have the siddhanta. So that person may say, okay, that's a good answer, but it's like Sunday school. Oh, teacher, does God exist? And then the teacher explains.
Yeah, some devotees contacted me and they said, no, this is not, we don't get this in Iskcon. I'm like, you should make your own endeavor to, to have these discussions, So I told them that, we're doing the Ishtagoshti meetings, you should participate. And then just like Robert Prabhu is trying to contact you, anyone else who's watching can also contact you, right? Narayan Prabhu?
Or you, yes.
Yes, or me, or Rupa, any one of us, they can contact us. So let's go to the reading now, Prabhu.
Okay.
This is not available in, so-called Iskcon. They don't give this.
It's not available anywhere.
Anywhere, exactly. All right, here.
It wasn't even available when Srila Prabhupada was here to the instructions.
Yes.
It's only there for somebody who wants to understand what his nature was and what his instructions were about, because every time he tried to explain, people got in the way. They wouldn't want to listen.
Yeah, right. That's very...
Look at 1970, all the GBC members became deaf to Prabhupada.
Okay, Prabhu,
Deaf,
let's...
but unfortunately not mute.
Okay, let's, Rupa, it's your turn, Prabhu. You're the best reader here. Can you take over? Is Rupa Manjari here? Oh.
Sorry, I was muted.
Oh, it's okay. Let's go,
Okay.
Prabhu.
On the personal level, please pray in all your waking hours to Lord Paramatma on your heart to not grant your personal needs or desires. Instead,
Prabhu, can you read loud, clear, and slow? Because it's not going to be easy for people to understand what it is.
Instead, pray to him to only grant you food, shelter, money, clothing, relationships with others, only as he desires. Give up being the doer even on your sadhana. Pray, I need and desire nothing. Whatever you set before me without my praying or desiring, I will accept and even share with others. Pray to Lord Paramatma, now that I can live without thought or anticipation for the things that you choose to provide me, I will never ask for anything for myself again. Freed from material needs and desires, I now have an absolute demand from you, the fulfiller of all material desires. I demand from you, O Lord, in my heart, that you force me to hear Krishna's voice through the transcendental chanting of Srila Prabhupada's kirtans, and I mercilessly demand of you to free my heart of all ordinary desires, so that I, the jiva, will have no other option but to hear the sound of Prabhupada's chanting, resonating your very existence into my heart. I demand of you, dear Lord Paramatma, and I will not settle for less as your role in the heart of every jiva with a material desire. And I demand of you mercilessly to grant this desire, and I will keep you in a death grip until you have granted this desire of mine 24/7. You can starve me, you can drive me naked into the wilderness of this material world, but I will exert my absolute control over you until I can bathe in the essence of Krishna's presence being transparently revealed through Srila Prabhupada's transcendental chanting of your holy name.
Excellent reading. Okay. Here we go. Let's go back to that.
Is there more to it?
That's it.
Okay. Are you sure that's the whole thing?
Yep. Let me check one more time on my phone. That's it.
Who wrote that?
Narayan Prabhu wrote it.
Oh,
Yeah. Yes.
What I'm saying is, since Lord Paramatma is an expansion of Krishna, which he is, Vishnu, to satisfy our material desires or whatever desires we have, then let us say, no more material satisfaction from you, please. I
Well,
just will.
this
My death
concept,
grip is that I want you only to give me how to find access to Prabhupada's sound vibration through his kirtan so that I can hear Krishna.
that's
And I don't
fine.
want to settle for anything less.
I'm saying what you have written is fine and it makes sense. But here comes but Krishna himself is saying, I mean, I just read the part, Rupa and we read that part that Prabhupada says, we're carrying out this Krishna consciousness movement. Even if one person becomes a pure devotee, we would consider our mission a success. So, I mean, we're presenting the absolute truth, or Krishna is presenting the absolute truth, but he's not expecting everyone to jump on board. So,
This is not designed for everybody. It's designed for individuals who want to hear Krishna in Prabhupada's, hear Krishna's presence or feel Krishna's presence or experience Krishna's presence in kirtan of Prabhupada.
so you're saying even though this is not for everyone, but is being presented
It's
for
for
everyone.
everyone, but not everyone will pounce on it. But
Hmm.
if everyone pounced on it, then our mission would be completed practically overnight.
Hmm.
You see, the whole idea is to become Krishna conscious. You
Yes.
can't do that by continuously remaining under the control of Paramatma and Yoga and Maya in the material world. So we already say we need to free ourselves from Maya, but we can't free ourselves in Maya until we free ourselves from Paramatma granting us our Mayic desires. Or
Can you
outcomes.
say it more simpler because you can't? It was not understandable for me.
Okay, so which part do you want me to make more understandable?
You're saying that we have to get free from Maya, right?
Well, we have to be free from Maya, yes. We have to be free in order to, if I want to listen to Prabhupada's kirtan, okay?
Okay, let's take that example. Okay.
We've done that ourselves many times, right?
Yes.
How many things have we thought and felt in our hearts while we were listening that kept us from complete surrender?
Well, when I was listening to it, I was admiring, wow, such a simple sound, and it's so nicely being chanted. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but that's objective.
Yes, that is
And
objective, right?
you're using your mind.
Yes.
That's not surrender. That's just admiration.
Yes. So all these things come up, like you just gave, you said, Prabhupada chanting, and what were you thinking? So that's what I was thinking. So it's, how, how to give that up is the question.
Well, how to give it up? Demand Paramatma to take it away.
Hmm.
You're thinking, how do I give it up? Because we're so used to being the order giver. And
Because
Paramatma being the order supplier.
Hmm.
He's Vishnu, we're Jivas, and we expect him to kiss our butts.
Hmm.
But that's not the way it should be working. If he's Vishnu, then what I was writing there, these brutal words that I was writing, are indicating I don't want you, Paramatma, to give me anything now except Prabhupada's direct association without my brain getting in the way, without my saying, oh, that was a nice kirtan. Oh, yeah, what does that mean? You've objectified it. If I say it's a nice kirtan, I haven't gotten the point of the kirtan, have I? The only way to get the point of the kirtan is to surrender to Prabhupada as he's chanting and his voice will take you straight to Krishna's lotus feet. But
Right.
nobody wants that. Everybody wants to hear it and use it in their own way. Does that resonate?
Yes. Yes.
So
Let me
we
see if
need
the,
to change our approach in some degree. We need to change our approach by saying, are you under the control of Paramatma, or is Paramatma under your control? Are you willing to give up using Paramatma to give you things? Or to make you look a certain way? Or make you sound a certain way? Or dress a certain way? Are you willing to give up everything so that Paramatma will realize you have no other desire than to find Krishna via Prabhupada's sun vibration? He's the Acharya, which means he came here to give us Krishna's sound vibration. And he chanted, but we all took it as a cool Swami from India chanting. We always relativized it. Well, relativizing is based on Paramatma responding to your desire for ordinariness. You get that?
yes. Okay. Let's see if there's any questions online and on Facebook. So if anyone has any questions, please post your questions and we'll read it
Yeah, I'd like
out
to hear
loud.
anyone suggest an alternative process by which you can actually surrender to Krishna without clearing with Paramatma not to fulfill any of your material desires, no matter how simple they are, no matter how genuine they are. Say, well, can I desire a certain type of food? No. Eat what is put before you. Take what is given to you. Don't try to manage everything, because that's Paramatma. As long as we have the tendency to want to control the outcome of anything, we are not going to become pure devotees. In fact, we're heading in the wrong direction. Does that make sense?
What do you mean to control? I mean, everyone's trying to control something. Wasn't Prabhupada trying to control the movement in some way by issuing a direction of management? So, or he was trying.
He channeled that from Krishna.
So that is not control.
Absolutely not. If it was control, then people would have been controlled, wouldn't they?
Right, they were not controlled. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So Prabhupada did, you see, that's where people misunderstood Prabhupada. He came in an Indian looking body, even though if you looked at him from different perspectives, his body would dissolve and turn into other forms, which I've seen. Why did he do that? Because he was coming to the material world where people want that sort of thing.
Okay.
They want someone they can, in other words, he did that so that people would create the Iskcon movement, join it, and then in 1970, a few years after it was created, turned it into a clown show from the GBC, and then in 1977 finished murdering him so that they could become the successor acharyas, which they did and became laughing stocks.
Yeah, that was pretty
So
bad.
We're talking, this conversation, that posting is all about how to actually surrender. And you can't actually surrender by accepting anything that anybody else is saying.
Okay, so we're ready for some comments, Prabhus?
Yeah.
Okay, Peter Prabhu. Bhakta Peter, Jai. Happy 911 anniversary, everyone. Today's 9/11, 2022. Aristo Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Aristo again says, is China a restricted country for book distribution or the expansion of the 10,000 League? And then Moses Singleton Prabhu says, Haribol, peace and blessings. Aristo, to your question, I think there are devotees who are expanding or having programs in China, distributing Prabhupada's books and having programs. So that's going on. But
Yeah, I visited in 1975. My
Hmm.
son Kuba and I visited.
1975, you said, not 1995.
What am I saying? Not 1997. Kuba and I went in 2005.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. 2005. Right.
On the instruction of Gitarati, and we went, and our job was to build up the faith of the devotees who, because of Tamal Krishna, were not allowed to dress like devotees in the street or preach openly. So they had to do everything secretly. They didn't even dare have deities in their temples, because if they got raided, they didn't want to be caught red-handed.
Yeah, there was a sannyasi devotee that came. He joined in 1970. What was it? 1977 or something like that. He said when he was 15, he joined when he was about 15, and then in Russia, in the Soviet Union. So they were printing books underground and distributing them. So, there was some very risky things that they were doing, but they never got caught in, publishing Srila Prabhupada's books and things like that. So, yeah.
So that's all. These are all good activities.
Yeah.
I have nothing against publishing Prabhupada's original books.
Yeah,
I have got nothing of that. But if we try to pursue everything based on that, we'll get nowhere. It's just us selling books and them selling books, and they think our books are better. We say our books are better.
No, this was in address to Aristo's comment about China and Russia. I kind of.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was there in 2005. I don't know what he's looking at. Yeah. I was there in Guangzhou, and I was there in Maning.
Hare Krishna Vinayak, welcome, Prabhu.
Yeah, Haribol, welcome.
Vinayak Sharma from Japan, as Prabhupada says it. What's going on?
Do you think that my suggestion is too drastic?
No.
Hare Krishna,
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. What's going on in Japan? Huh?
Nothing as such. Again, the same. Again, I'm jobless. So.
Okay, we'll talk about your job later. Any questions, realizations you'd like to share, Prabhu?
If your heart is pure, a job will come to you. If you doubt that you will get a job will probably not come to you. You have to have faith in Krishna that whatever you require, assuming that a job is something you require, assume that the job can and will come, not because of your planning or hopes, and not because you say, I don't think I'll get a job, or I think I'll get a job, but by Krishna's grace. So you have to completely surrender your mind to Krishna, and then he will facilitate your desire to have a job without responding to your desire for a job as though he were an order supplier.
Yeah, Prabhu, like this thing happens like mostly in lives of devotees. Like the philosophy that we are into, for example, that like tasyaiva heta prayate kovida, that the intelligent people only work for Krishna consciousness, and whatever has been destined by their karma would come automatically. So just like miseries come automatically, happiness would also come automatically. So by by getting motivation from these statements, it kind of looks like in devotional life, many devotees tend to become quite lazy towards working for material things or money, because when we see past in our past life the money that we have acquired or something, till now we are not able to use that for our enjoyment. So even if we acquire more money, then what we will do with that? So this thing comes in mind, and it develops a kind of laziness to work for these things, like material prosperity, business, or these things. So these things are quite prevalent in among
Well, if
devotees.
we want prosperity for ourselves, then we are not trying to surrender to Krishna.
Yes,
If we surrender to Krishna and you have wife and children, he's not going to let them starve.
yes,
But that means your faith has to be very pure. You can't
that's
have faith that Krishna will give you a job. You have faith in Krishna that you want to serve him. And if it's necessary to have a job, he will supply you with one. But we can't do it by our own effort, our own intelligence, unlike the karmis.
yeah.
Hare Krishna. All right, Vinayak Prabhu. Any other realizations or questions, Prabhu?
There were many, but when I am here, I forget everything. So it was that I'm going to ask this, I have asked that, speak this, speak that, but I forget everything.
Okay. Let me see if there's any more comments on our Facebook and YouTube. All right. Now, Narayan Prabhu, do you know this Nori Muster? Nori Muster, she joined in the 1980s. And
Oh,
she
yes.
what was her situation? What happened with the whole Iskcon movement in 1980s? Was she
Nori is a Japanese name.
no? Could be, but no, I'm talking
Sorry,
about.
Master. She was married to somebody, wasn't she?
I'm not sure, but she was in Los Angeles. I know that, and you've been in Los Angeles forever, so that's why I'm asking. What she joined and she left. I was conversing with him, and I asked her a question that
Is
are
she
you
the
still-
one that wrote the book about the Gurukulis?
I think so. Yes, yes. She did write some book about something in Iskcon. I think the abuse or
She wrote the book. She wrote the book Betrayal of the Spirit.
betrayal of the spirit. Okay. Yes. So Narayan Prabhu, did you have any interaction with her as a young?
Oh, yeah, I did. I had quite a few.
So did
She's
she?
very intelligent. She came and joined, worked very, very tirelessly, very intelligent woman. She worked very tirelessly for Mukunda's office. And
I think it was
when
Rameshwar's.
Rameshwara. Rupa is saying Rameshwara.
yeah, but also Mukunda. But
Okay, also Mukunda. Okay. Yes.
But as time went on, she saw how the children had been molested in the Gurukula, and how nobody was stepping forward to do anything decisive about it.
I see.
So she ended up talking about this with Mukunda, and he was sort of like betwixt and between. He saw that she was right, but he knew that if she had full freedom to speak, that it would be very damaging to the movement.
Oh, interesting.
So she kept on playing both sides for a long time.
Oh, she played both sides. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, she or he? Mukunda played both sides, or she played both sides?
She.
Oh, okay. So she had some management position, I guess, or some kind of important.
Yeah, oh yeah, she was a sort of an executive in the GBC or something of that sort.
Oh, so this is very early in 1980s. Okay, I see, I see. And then what happened after that? Did she leave, or she wrote a
Well,
book?
in the end, she published her book,
Yes.
and then she was persona non grata.
Oh, interesting. No, that's, I was having a conversation with him. I was not so concerned about the position of the GBC or the gurus or this, that. I just wanted to know what she thought about Srila Prabhupada's position as, an acharya. So I asked her some questions, and she replied. I asked her this question. Um, I asked her the first question, are you still a follower of the Iskcon society? She said, hello, I left the organization in 1988. Why? So I was just asking her a question. It's been some many years, 1988, 2022. I was specifically concerned about her understanding about Srila Prabhupada as a pure devotee, and I wanted to see what was her personal understanding. So I wrote her a question. What is your understanding about the founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, and his position in the Krishna consciousness movement? Then I wrote, your own personal understanding and opinion is fine. Then she replied, I believe the zonal guru system destroyed Iskcon. And then I asked her another question. I said, got it. But what is your understanding regarding Srila Prabhupada's position as the founder Acharya? Do you think he is or was a bona fide Krishna conscious guru? And she replied, emissary of Krishna.
That's what she replied.
Yeah, so I thought,
But we should try to be careful about saying Prabhupada's position as anything to Iskcon, because that gives him a hat and gloves and a seat.
no, because she participated in the Iskcon movement. That's why I asked. Not that Prabhupada is, some ordinary person. I
Yeah.
wanted to hear her understanding.
Well,
That
her understanding was higher level than the question, wasn't it?
What?
Her answer was a higher level than the question, even.
Well, you look up the meaning emissary. It doesn't give any specific, emissary comes up as a person sent as a diplomat, representative on a special mission. That's what emissary means.
Well, that's exactly what Prabhupada was.
Well, he was not a diplomatic representative on a special mission.
Well, he was a representative of Krishna on a special mission.
Yes, not a diplomatic representative.
Not, that doesn't matter. We have to start
He was very
realizing
diplomatic.
that
What?
He was very diplomatic.
Hmm.
He was a master of speech in the way he would address people and could speak to each type of audience that he had.
Ah, Haribol. That's a good. Okay, that makes sense. Thank
very
you,
nice distinction.
Jai. No, Prabhu, you were saying something, Prabhu. Go ahead.
I was?
You
Well,
are?
the only thing I can say is that we should avoid anything that makes Prabhupada sound like a functionary within an organization. He's not. He
Right.
is the sole source access to Krishna Loka.
Yes, that's a very
That's
good
not
point.
that's not a function.
It's not.
That's an
Right.
opportunity for anyone that wishes to surrender, not join the movement. You can join the movement or not join the movement. But if you start begging Paramatma to guide you how to hear Prabhupada in his chanting, this is what I was writing, right?
Yes.
Then that takes away Prabhupada's role as a diplomat. He is a sole source access to Krishna through his sound vibration. But people don't bother listening. We're starting to play that recording, but even playing that recording, how much are we actually personally surrendering to
Yes.
the higher good? Prabhupada chanting the Hare Krishna mantra.
Yes.
Do we realize that within that particular record, if we surrendered to Krishna and didn't have a bunch of schemes in our brain, that if we heard that kirtan carefully and properly as 100% surrendered devotees begging for the hearing Krishna through Prabhupada, well, that could happen, right?
Yeah.
But as long as we keep a Paramatma on the back burner saying, give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that, it won't work out. Yeah, Nori Muster's father was a entrepreneur that ran most of the Mississippi paddle wheel tourist barges.
All right. We have some questions from Aristo.
Okay.
Peter says, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Aristo Prabhu is saying, is accepting Jesus as a prophet or avatar a prerequisite for being a Krishna conscious devotee, as I was recently told by a Muslim?
Well, that's because they want to give us an avenue towards Ishmael, who is not even mentioned in the Jewish or Hebrew scriptures. Saying they are traced to Ishmael, therefore they want us to accept Jesus and Muhammad, and then we can chant Hare Krishna.
I don't understand this question. Is accepting Jesus as a prophet or avatar is a prerequisite for being a Krishna conscious devotee, as I was recently told by a Muslim?
Good. Well, I'm trying to explain why a Muslim would say that. But the thing is on the table that
Why would a Muslim try to tell
Advocate for Jesus.
No, it's saying for being a Krishna devotee, as I was recently being told by a Muslim. Why? What does a Muslim have to do with Krishna consciousness? I'm trying to connect that.
well, apparently he talked to the Muslim. Who is it that wrote this?
Aristo.
Okay, Aristo, certified genius. So what?
What is he saying, Rupa? Can you understand the question? I'm having
He's saying that in order to be a devotee of Krishna, you first need to accept that Jesus is an avatar.
Okay.
Well, Krishna is the source of all avatars. Oh, but then if I was explaining, maybe the point is not yet clear. The Muslims have no origin of existence at all, except Abraham through, what's the name of the guy? I just said it, Rupa?
Ismail, yeah.
Yeah, through Ishmael. The Hebrew Bible, you see, Abraham had lived forever, a long time, had many wives and many children. Then when his wife died, he took his slave on as his wife and had a child with her. That child was named Ishmael. And that is where that has not in the same line as the authentic line of the Jewish lineage. And he was not recognized. And today, he doesn't even appear in the Hebrew Bible, Ishmael.
Peter Prabhu is saying, Aristo is saying the Muslim is a former Hindu. And then Peter says, Jesus is the most quoted prophet in the Quran, by the way. Interesting. Jesus is the most quoted prophet in the Quran, by the way. Interesting.
Okay, well, they're trying to fill in the gap between Abraham and Muhammad.
Yeah.
And it's not possible to fill the gap because the Muslims cannot denote or find a point of origin. So if the Muslim was a former Hindu, who knows what sort of Hindu he was?
Right.
We haven't had a complete breakdown of his state of consciousness.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Hmm.
so I was saying that it goes back to Ishmael and Abraham, and then comes down, who was a slave girl of Abraham's, and it comes down to now. Why would he be concerned with Jesus? Because that's how he can establish the authenticity of Islam. But we don't need it. We are dealing directly with Krishna. And Krishna is the source of all the expansions and avatars, etc. We may be totally overwhelmed by Jesus
Hmm.
and what he did and how he did it.
No, I mean, you're saying that we're dealing directly with Krishna, but isn't that a overstatement? Because how can we deal directly with Krishna? I mean, we deal
Because through Prabhupada.
even then, no? I mean, Prabhupada, like you yourself has said that when the deity worship is going on, it's not being done in the mood of Radha and Krishna, it's being done on the level of Lakshmi Narayan. So or something like that, if I remember
Yes,
correctly.
that's quite right.
And then, but we're not directly dealing with Krishna. I mean, if you're directly dealing with Krishna, that would mean that you're a pure devotee or
In the
some,
spiritual sky.
yeah. So can we actually say that we're directly dealing with Krishna, or is our language inadequate right now?
Well, probably inadequate.
I'm just saying, this is something that came up because we're dealing with Krishna directly. So when you philosophically analyze, when we worship even the deity, we're not directly dealing with Krishna, also in its true essence, meaning that we're dealing with either Lakshmi Narayan or Paramatma. No.
Okay, so not Paramatma, not in the temple. They would be so lucky. But the thing is about the worship of Krishna as Lakshmi Narayan, that's the Kanista Adhikari platform.
Mhm.
When we rise above the Kanista Adhikari platform, we become directly guided by Paramatma, by Lord Vishnu, by Krishna in the form of Paramatma. And he's Vishnu.
Hmm.
So this is our good fortune if we can get there. But we can't get there and monkey around with Paramatma.
Hmm.
He's
Right.
God.
Right.
How can we monkey around with the God who's the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
Hmm.
And what I wrote, I don't know, did Arista hear what that little thing it was that I wrote?
I think so. He was present when we read that.
Was he present? Can you ask him if he was?
Well, you just asked. If he's listening, then he'll respond. Double ask.
Because I'm thinking, why not read it again? Because it pretty well clarifies what to do
Let's see.
and how to do it
Let me see.
without becoming a religious person.
Okay, one comment before we read it. 1 second here.
Sure.
Comment from devotee Aristo Prabhu. Aristo Prabhu saying, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada acknowledged Jesus as a divine or enlightened avatar, according to the Sunni Muslim. I don't know. Yes, Prabhupada did say Jesus was a divine personality. He was teaching the love of God or something like that. Yeah, there's references in the Bhaktivedanta database regarding Jesus.
I think he said Jesus was a Shaktavesh avatar,
Oh, okay.
but I'm not.
Yeah, he descended from Swargaloka.
Hmm.
Swargaloka is not Krishna Loka and it's not Vishnu Loka. Swargaloka is in the material world near Brahma Loka, in the highest planets. Okay. So Jesus came here, but who else came there? Hitler came down from Svargaloka. Napoleon came down from Svargaloka. There's so many beings. Buddha came down from Svargaloka. All of these things are less than transcendentally adequate for going back to home, back to Godhead. Right? So,
Yes.
yeah. So we can admire the Sufi poets. We can admire the teachings of Islam. And I have. I've read a lot of the Quran, and I've read a lot of the extreme writers of Sufi literature and poems. It's very exciting. It's very wonderful. But I also like Shakespeare. And are the Sufis writing and prayers and not prayers, but poetry superior to Shakespeare? We'd have to say the Sunnis are divine and Shakespeare is not. You see? So we can't say that. We can only say that the Muslim writings have many wonderful things in them. But were the Muslims all vegetarian? Ramachan?
I don't
Are
think
they
so.
all Ramachan? Are they all vegetarian?
I don't think so. No.
Are any of them vegetarian?
Yeah, it's a good question.
There
Okay.
are a few.
Yes, maybe handful. Okay.
Maybe Rupa could look up vegetarian
Muslims. Okay.
Muslims.
Arishta Prabhu says, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, is the only source I acknowledge as a true Krishna conscious master, spiritual leader. Jai. Excellent.
Yes. We can say Krishna conscious spiritual leader, but we can also say spiritual leader.
Hmm.
Because when we say Krishna conscious, we're imposing our mental structure of what is Krishna conscious onto the identity of Srila Prabhupada.
But that's a very good point, that this subjective understanding, everyone has some sort of subjective understanding, either even in Krishna consciousness. So
Particularly in Krishna consciousness.
particularly in the Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, since 1970 or maybe even before that, people had subjective understanding. So this subjective understanding, if it's not authorized or if it's not in line with what Prabhupada is exactly saying, it's not actually bona fide. So how can
we could even avoid saying Prabhupada's saying. Why not say revealing?
revealing? Yes.
Srila Prabhupada was not just talking. And then we can say yes or no to what he says.
Yes, he was revealing, right? That's the
He was
right
revealing
word
the
to use.
supreme absolute truth.
Supreme.
And our
Yeah.
job is to surrender or to ask intelligent questions, how to surrender.
Mm.
And that's not going on in Iskcon at large. I don't think we have to spend much time mocking this bogus gurus. We need to create such a sense of difference between what Prabhupada taught and what they're doing that everyone will say, are you guys for real, or are you just out there for money and fame using Paramatma to build your fortune?
Yeah, I had a devotee question me. He said, Prabhu, this is a question to everybody here or anyone who's watching. He said, Ronald, we know that Prabhupada was a bona fide acharya. We all know that Prabhupada created Iskcon, but what they have done to Iskcon is not actually what Prabhupada wanted. But we still need a structure to follow and some guidance and some group which we can belong to. We cannot belong to this
And where you
so-called.
can share your personal views and pat each other on the back and make each other feel good.
Yes, basically, I think that's
We
what
need
he
a
was saying.
social environment regardless of Krishna.
So,
You see?
so
So why not say that's not true? None of us true. The purpose of Iskcon is to surrender to Prabhupada chanting Hare Krishna mantra.
hmm,
And when we hear that, we will hear Krishna. Are you going to chant and Krishna will appear inside of your chanting? The odds are, how? You have no connection with Krishna. None of us do. Oh, I belong to Krishna. Oh, I belong to my guru. Okay, now you've got a layer of deniability as to your relationship with Krishna. Right? So we have to give that up. Do you want to read that page again that I wrote? Because it
Okay.
really addresses that point 100%.
okay, let's read it. Let's see. Let me go back here. 1 second. Share screen. Here we go. Only go full screen.
It takes out the obstacle of self-motivation.
Yes, self-motivation. Self-motivation. Or okay.
Yeah.
On a personal level, please pray in all your waking hours to Lord Paramatma on your heart to not grant your personal needs or desires. Instead, pray to him only grant you food, shelter, money, clothing, relationships with others only as he desires. Give up being the doer, even on your sadhana. Pray, I need and desire nothing. Pray, I need and desire nothing. Whatever you set before me without me praying or desiring, I will accept and even share with others. Pray to Lord Paramatma now that I can live without thought or anticipation of the things that you choose to provide me. I will never ask for anything for myself again. Freed from material needs and desires, I now have an absolute demand from you, the fulfiller of all material desires. I demand from
You
you,
said demand, right?
yes, I demand from you, O Lord, in my heart, that you force me to hear Krishna's voice through the transcendental chanting of Srila Prabhupada's kirtans, and I mercilessly demand of you to free my heart of all ordinary desires so that I, the jiva, will have no other option but to hear the sound of Prabhupada's chanting, resonating your every existence into my heart. I demand of you, dear Lord Paramatma, and I will not settle for less, as your role in the heart of every jiva with a material desire, and I demand of you mercilessly to grant this desire, that I will keep you in a death grip until you have granted this desire of mine 24/7. You can starve me, you can drive me naked into the wilderness of this material world, but I will exert my absolute control over you until until my canned breath in essence of Krishna's presence being transparently revealed through Srila Prabhupada's transcendental chanting of your holy name. All right. So,
A lot of people, I published that online, and a lot of people have really responded well to it.
try. Okay. What's the time here? We got about 6 minutes. 5 minutes.
Any
Okay.
more comments from people?
Yes, let me see. Okay, just in the meantime, if anyone is watching on Facebook and YouTube, if they have any questions, please post in the description or comment or join our WhatsApp group. The link is in the description of the video. And whenever we go live, we will see you online. Okay, let's see. Aristo Prabhu is saying 72 sects of Islam. 72 sects of Islam. Interesting. Okay then. Any concluding words from Robert, Rupa, Narayan Prabhu? What's going on?
Ramachandra Prabhu.
Yeah, we're just about.
So Ramachandra, do you see this as opening an avenue by which we can get past, for once and for all, the notion of religion? The Krishna consciousness is not religion. It's direct perception. Prabhupada says direct perception of the soul by realization.
Yeah, Prabhupada says that. Yeah.
Joyfully performed.
Yeah.
We can't do that as long as we are riding Paramatma like a pony. Do you see what I mean? We have Paramatma. He's our greatest. He's Krishna. Look at that, what I wrote. Isn't it pretty violent writing towards Krishna?
No.
But the thing is, the purpose of Paramatma is fulfill my desire. I'm saying my desire is now to be devoid of anything except access to hearing chanting in such a way that I can hear Krishna in his voice. Actual Krishna, not imaginary Krishna. So I'm saying, whatever you're doing, don't do it. Whatever you want me to do, don't let me do it. I want you to back away and enable me in this stage of my life particularly. I'm asking you to please give me that access and nothing else. Not, oh, I saw that and then I'm going to tell all my friends. I've experienced that. It was a great experience. I wanted to share the kata. None of that. None of that is useful or valuable, nor can it help us. If we want to reestablish Iskcon, we have to demonstrate and make it clear that Srila Prabhupada's chanting reveals Krishna's sound vibration. And if we exploit or utilize that recording from 1966 and just keep it going while people are wondering, is that true? Is he able to reveal things in that kirtan? Can he show us Krishna in that kirtan? The thing is, what we need to ask ourselves is, when you listen to the impassioned way Prabhupada chants that kirtan, who else could he be regarding? We like the emotion. We like the hippie approach. No more hippie approach. We need to surrender to Prabhupada. And the only way we can surrender is not thinking about anything, including most of what he said. We have to concentrate with, you can control Paramatma yourself, right? Ramachandra?
No, I was going to ask a question, but go ahead. I can control Paramatma. Yes, go ahead.
You can?
No,
So why not?
because I'm not surrendered.
Then control Paramatma by saying, I want you not to do anything that will keep me from being surrendered. You want to surrender, don't just say, well, I'm not surrendered. Say that Paramatma, ask Paramatma, I just said I'm not surrendered now. Can you please intervene in such a way that I will become fully surrendered?
Sure.
And that's what that writing that I just made is. Maybe it's a bit clumsy, but it's what it was before.
Okay, so we're at right on 10 o'clock, Prabhus.
Okay.
Rupa Manjari, thank you for reading and hosting the meeting. Narayan Prabhu, thank you for insights, participation, realizations.
Thank
And
you.
You're welcome.
And Robert Prabhu, please contact Narayan Prabhu immediately.
I
Which
will.
is good.
Okay, Prabhu, so see you Wednesday. I mean,
Oh, but
Thursday.
Ramachandra, one quick question.
Yes?
We were going to have a conversation 2 hours after our last conversation, but you didn't call. Was I supposed to call?